Sunday. Crap weather. Always on the weekends, man. Always when we need a good day off. The weather sucks ass here. Anyways, let's see. Project agenda. So let's see. Project wise, we've got the 2-7 Marines. They just finished Operation Utah, which basically that they did the amphibious assault. They worked their way into denying, and then they had the Republic of Korea's airborne unit assist in taking the airport there. The bloody battle lasted about 4 days. The next operation that was big that they did while they were during the Vietnam conflict is Operation Harvest Moon. That one, a lot of rice paddies and things like that. It's pretty crazy. But I don't know what's nuts when I read about Vietnam, and I think about this with the tunnels. I mean, digging how they would carve out miles and miles of tunnels under all these hills, everything along that line, and it's just you see how small some of them are. I mean, there's tourists. As a tourist, people can actually go to Vietnam and go to the Cu Chi tunnels and all that type of stuff, and actually walk around and crawl around and stuff. So it's insane. But they would have those bamboo traps, punji sticks. Where it was sharpened, you'd step on it, the ground would fall out. You'd have a bamboo spike go right through your foot, and a lot of the times they would infect them with feces or any type of bacteria or whatever they could get their hands on. Vietnam, that warfare, just being so different compared to the previous conflicts the United States had been in, whether it be World War I, World War II, or Korea at the time. I mean, some similar tactics. When they were doing Okinawa and all that stuff, the Marines were there in the Pacific. I mean, Japanese had tunnels and all sorts of stuff like that. However, a lot of their tunnels and bunkers and all that stuff were concrete or sandbagged and everything like that. Whereas you look at the network of tunnels in Vietnam, it's all dirt. Maybe a few support beams, some bamboo here and there, but like these miles of tunnels, you can't fit heavy machinery under there. Machinery is not going to fit in a 3-foot by 3-foot hole in the ground. So they had to dig all that by hand. And that to me is just nuts. Like mining that out, but just boring all these tunnels under all these hills and the stability and stuff or whatnot. But I don't watch a lot of war movies or stuff like that. However, there's one called 1968 Tunnel Rats. It's pretty intense. I mean, it's Hollywood, but a bunch of guys are crawling around through these tunnels looking for Viet Cong. Like I said, it's not historically accurate 100%, obviously, but it's a good one, fun one to watch. What else is going on here, guys? Lately, guns. I don't know. Trying to think here. Oh, that's what the project was, right? Sorry, self-talking out loud, people. Gunfather, this extras episode or whatnot that I'm putting together with Eugene Stoner. I mean, I've already covered him. He was one of my first few Gunfather episodes I ever did. And of course, people that don't know who Eugene Stoner is, definitely go look him up because he's, Armalite 15 ARs. He's the one who invented the impingement platform for that, which is still obviously used today. Not using your typical short stroke piston to recoil and cycle your firearm. But Eugene Stoner, what's interesting to me about the guy is he wanted these guns to be modular. He wanted his Stoner 63 series rifles, you could be belt fed, magazine, detachable mag fed, clip strip through the top fed on some of them. I mean, like he made it pretty versatile and he was trying to, make a one gun for all type thing. But as far as it goes, the AR-10, which he invented in 1955, didn't get the patent for it until 1956, actually was in competition with Springfield's prototype, the T-44, which was adopted as the M14. And of course, they liked Stoner's idea. They liked his design because he didn't use the pistons. And, at first they didn't like the fact that he had synthetic materials he was using for the firearm. A lot of people thought the cosmetics of it looked goofy, or it looked like a space gun, things like that, during development. But I mean, the Armalite 15 basically plays such a huge role in our military, with nearly 50. Now we're almost. I mean, Vietnam's what, 55. So we're going over 75, 70, some odd years or whatever. My math sucks right now, guys. So thanks for bearing with me on it. But using these weapons, squad automatic weapons, we've discussed those in the past before. Usually a belt fed. Earlier in these times, it was the Browning automatic rifle, 1918. And that shot the 7.62. Stoner was trying to develop a firearm or weapon system with the impingement and all that stuff that would shoot this round. However, M14 won over it. Springfield had a lot of contracts and already had a lot of reputation, though, too, with the United States, considering they're the oldest armory in the country since 1794. But, M14 unfortunately failed quite a bit. They needed a lighter rifle. The jungles were so humid, the heat, the wood stocks on their rifles was actually warping, causing major issues. Receivers were, like getting loose in the wood, and all sorts of stuff along that line. So with Stoner's idea, when he came back around, it was about 1962, 1963. The United States bought the AR-15 patent. After that point, they licensed it out to Colt, and that's how the M16 kind of came in. What's neat about the M16? I mean, it's the original. I love the looks of them, but the fact that you can do select fire, you can do semi-auto, etc. That's one of the biggest things I always think about on the AR platform that I really like a whole lot is just the safety switch. When you get into repetition, a lot of these competition shooters, or when you're in the military and you're in your school of infantry and whatnot, you'll stand up to the line, fire, safety, following these commands. You get into a good subconscious habit of doing all that stuff. But, I think that was one of the parts of the rifle that Stoner invented, I think makes a huge difference, and I think it's awesome. Direct impingement, like I said, it's where basically, when people fire their round, it goes through the tube. You have the gases behind it. It'll feed up through the porthole, go through your gas tube, back into the receiver, and actually use the bolt carrier and the bolt as your piston and recoil, for your firearm to complete the cycle. And so it was kind of a neat thing, when he came up with that idea, and lo and behold, everybody's still doing it now. But, it's curious. These are like game changer type things in the firearms world or military. What original stuff has actually came out that wasn't based on that platform? I mean, you really think about it, these designs, whether it be, Glock with the safety switch, or you've got, of course, your recoil pistons, direct impingement, blowback, but there hasn't been any new real. I mean, it's upgraded, things like that, and better performance and match grade. But as far as inventing and designing a weapon system, nothing's really been like 100% original since way back then in the 60s. I mean, it's crazy to think, but and just how in that amount of time, how long those firearms have been, standard issues. I mean, the M16 is the longest serving rifle for the military. It's pretty neat, but M16s, though, the downer, they're very fickle, temperamental. I wouldn't even recommend shooting it on fully automatic. I mean, it's not really meant for that. It's just if you ever shot one, you'd know. But other than that, guys, we've got gun dog training coming out. My dog's so funny. I mean, puppies, man. You think they're cute, and then you see all your shoes ripped up and all your shit around your entire house. They just chew on everything. But got some fun stuff with that. Still in the works. And, we'll have some more Gunfather stuff coming out. But anyways, guys, that's the updates today. Everybody that watches this replay wise, we'll get some more stuff out. If you guys have recommendations, content, or questions, go ahead and hit me up in the comments, and then I'll try to get back to people as fast as I can. But you guys take care. Enjoy your Sunday.